twilight caresses the air. The river mist hangs sweet and fair. The evening swallows, they whisper their tune, dancing on the moon. Why have the stars called us here?
We're here on the first Monday of every month with our new episode on Rocking the Valley. Thanks, Steve Jones and everyone at Rocking the Valley for the extra distribution. You'll also see it on my page, Tom Cooney Music, on YouTube. And it's a show where we look at a songwriter from the Middle Atlantic region and talk about their craft and get to hear them live and look at some of their web pages. Most importantly, tell you where you can find their music and how you can support the artist. Our special guest this time is Nancy Huebner. Nancy, hey.
Hi, how are you, Tom?
Good, really good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Yeah, Nancy is a wonderful singer-songwriter. I ran into her from the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance, PASA, PASA songs on Facebook. And Nancy is a very creative writer, a great keyboardist, great vocalist, and a great storyteller. And very happy to have you on as my guest today.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, it is great. We'll hear a bunch of Nancy's songs today, and I know you're really going to enjoy them. And as usual, we like to get right into the music pretty early. And Nancy, what were you thinking of sharing for your first song with folks?
If a woman is walking across a parking lot, what's the chance that she might slip on the cement? Well, I'm sure as sure can be if she walks a lot like me. The chance is 110%, 'cause I fall down. I'm very well acquainted with the ground. I'm not graceful, I'm not smooth, I can barely even move. I fall down. Now to what do I owe my prevailing lack of grace? Is it hereditary or acquired? It's really hard to know when I'm face down in the snow, wondering how it is that I'm still unexpired. I fall down. All my clothes are grass-stained green and dog poop brown. I don't need a patch of ice, though a reason would be nice. I just fall down. All those years I spent learning piano, playing scales every day. I should have studied some ballet. All that time I spent taking voice lessons, singing opera and high C's with the greatest of ease. Might need some expertise, but does nothing for skinned knees. For example, oh, won't you help me up, please? Help me up, please. Nothing. I've hit my head, had a concussion, woke up dazed and speaking Russian, broke my foot, wrenched my back in a gravity attack, did a split on a wet floor, sprained my ankle in a store. I don't think I can stand anymore. Tripped and messed up my knee, slid head first into a tree, didn't need surgery luckily. I've fallen flat on my face and with scars you can trace, evidence of disgrace I can never erase. I'm totally unbalanced, it's true, but at least I look good in black and blue. I fall down. If I weren't afraid of them, I'd be a clown. The most important trait that I look for in a mate is can they lift a lot of weight, 'cause I fall down. I don't know why they let me walk around. The MRI tube's like my home, CAT scans programmed in my phone. If you leave me alone, I'll fall down. I guess it's well known I fall down. Please feel free to step over me. when I fall down.
That's wonderful.
Unfortunately, extremely autobiographical, which is really, really sad. But yeah.
It sounds like it. I hope you're sitting.
Yes, I do actually perform a lot standing, but I have to think about it. I have to pay attention.
Oh my, that is funny. Very, very.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that is great. I'm sure you've heard this before. Your songs have a music theater flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you kind of see them that way, but you primarily kind of don't see them that way.
Well, it's strange. I do understand absolutely that people hear that, and I'm not saying it isn't built into that. I didn't study music theater in school. I actually was an opera major, which is into that song. And music theater is something I've always loved, but I never really thought of myself in that realm too much, although I've been in some shows. I don't know. I always thought it took sort of more of a special talent than I have to do that. And I recently, right before the pandemic, was going up to New York City to study with Marcy Heisler, who's a wonderful, wonderful lyricist. And if you're not familiar with Heisler and Goldrich, you have to look them up. They have a great song called Taylor the Latte Boy that's really pretty well known in musical theater circles. But anyway, she was wonderful to study with, and mainly working on lyrics. And that actually even showed me more that I'm maybe not cut out to do musical theater, because it all involves a lot of people working together and sitting around a table and throwing out ideas and writing really fast. And even though I kind of write fast, I'm kind of all by myself. I don't really collaborate well, mainly because I don't really know why. I'm just not skilled at collaboration in music. So I think that's why I kind of hesitate to say it's musical theater, because the real musical theater, it's not really that. But there's a lot of musical theater in my songs.
Yeah, I understand that the core writing, the music and the lyrics is kind of core, but I guess if you get involved in writing the book, it becomes very complex.
Yeah, there's just a lot to it. And, I've kind of I could do that maybe and learn to do that, and that's great, but I kind of do what I do, and these things just come out, and
it's a great influence, and you've really infused it very naturally into your sound. It's really great.
No, good. Thanks.
Yeah, my understanding of theater, I kind of backed into it by studying and playing the American songbook, the jazz songbook. All the great stuff by Rodgers and Hart and
absolutely
Churchlands and everyone, and Jerome Kern, etc. And then I kind of learned, that's from a musical time. You have to go figure out the context of the song.
Yeah.
And that kind of added a nice extra flavor to all those things that I was learning. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's there, and it infuses it. But I've heard you say this too, that for you, the story you're trying to tell is still the focal point. You want to tell the story.
Yeah, there's definitely an arc to my songs. I have a lot of trouble repeating choruses. I have to change every chorus. I've written a few songs where the chorus actually does repeat. I think maybe 3 out of 100 songs do that exactly. So the story in songs, I've always admired storytellers. I come from a family of storytellers on both sides. And I think I've always admired someone who can sort of put together a 3-minute piece that just, paints a whole picture of something. So I think that's probably in my mind somewhere what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The song I wrote that kind of got a lot of video play called Daughter. That song had that in it, where I kind of kept the idea going back to I'm your daughter, but each time it changes a little bit. And the idea of that changes a little bit. And so I think there is something conscious about it that I try to do, but there's also something sort of unconscious that just says, I want to say more than just say this exact same thing over again.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to do a really quick screen share. I know we're not going to hear that song today, but you're talking about an incredible song that you wrote last year that was on the WHYY in Philadelphia. And the response to it throughout the Mid-Atlantic and beyond was just incredible. I'll ask you while I share the screen to briefly describe it, and then you can point folks to where they can listen to it. So here's the screen share.
Okay, yeah, that's me. So Daughter came out of me starting to finally, after all these years, mesh together my nursing world and my music world, which has been a long struggle for me to try to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I'd written a few other songs now. Actually, I probably have a CD worth of nursing songs or songs that deal with being a nurse. But this one came out of the pandemic. I had come home from work in April. Matter of fact, it was April 23rd, I think, that I wrote this. I had heard a lot of stories and seen a lot of patients dying of COVID. And I had heard the pain and the suffering of the families who can't be with their family members at that time because no one was allowed in the hospital except the healthcare workers and the patients. And I thought, oh my gosh, these families have no idea what we're trying to do, that we're in there in those rooms and holding those hands. And I thought, let me write something to just explain to them, like, we are doing this. Please know that at least we're doing this.
Yeah.
And this song just sort of came out. I recorded it on my little iPhone 7 and just put it on my Facebook page, really having no expectation that it would maybe do much. And wow, it kind of took off, and I started to hear back from all sorts of people sharing their stories with me, sharing their pain with me, telling me they're so appreciative that nurses are doing this. And I had a lot of nurses contact me and really tell me just how important it was for them to actually sort of see what we do in another realm. Like, you do it every day and you don't think about it, you know? So there came an opportunity to sort of share it with WHYY, and I thought, well, maybe it'll help more people to have a little bit of comfort to know this is going on. So I shared it with them, and it's very freaky to see yourself on television. I have to tell you, I was not prepared, and I thought, geez, I should have done my hair better or something. But even so, I think it's sort of one of those things that it was the right moment and the right thing. And I was just being honest. I mean, I was not talking specifically about a specific patient, actually. I was sort of just painting a picture of what we do. But it kind of took off. And the next thing I knew, on Facebook, I had 20,000 people had seen it. That's more people than, go to the Sixers games sometimes. So I was just like, this is crazy, But
it's a beautiful song, and it's nice because it opens the door for people to feel and show more compassion about the situation.
Yeah, we're very happy because we're allowed to have some family members back in now, and it's as a nurse, nurses say, oh, families, but I mean, we really do actually love families because they are, help us to be the eyes and the ears and the hands.
Oh,
so.
yeah, very much, yeah. So don't forget, folks, you can see that on whyy.org/episodes/Nancy-Huebner, and that's Huebner, B as in. And that's where you can hear that great song, Daughter. Thanks for sharing the background on that. It's such a heartfelt song and so well crafted. Very heartfelt.
Thanks. Thank you. I wrote it so fast, I didn't feel like I wrote it. So, you know.
Isn't that great? Wouldn't that be great if all the songs came that way?
I know. I was really glad I still had the thing where I hand wrote it all out and it's in my handwriting because I know it's me. But it is funny how that can happen.
This is great. I knew this was going to happen. The talk was going to try to chase way ahead of the music. Because you're such a good songwriting craft person, and you're very easy to talk to. So this is great.
Oh, good.
Let's move on to a second song of yours, if you'd like. And I'm wondering what you're thinking of sharing for your second time around here.
Well, since I'm kind of on this bend, because I hadn't really decided what I was going to necessarily do, but let's do this. This is a true story. It was 2 a.m. He and I weren't sleeping. We were sweating. I was in over my head. I was young and naive. A secret I was keeping. Who would believe that we'd end up here on this bed? You never forget the first one. You never first one. It went on and on. We were switching places. I was tiring. My arms were giving out. He shouted orders, and I tried hard to follow. I couldn't swallow my anxiety and doubt. You never forget the first one. You never forget the first one. You never forget the first one. Am I dreaming? Alarms are screaming. Now we're shocking. The bed is rocking. No one's stopping. Veins are popping. Ribs are breaking. I am shaking, out of breath from fighting death. Out of breath from fighting death. It was 2:52 when he finally called it. We only stalled it. The end can't be denied. After I bathed her, her family arrived. And when her daughter cried out, "Mommy," that's when I cried. You never forget your first one. You never forget your first one. I know it was years ago, and yet she was somebody's lover. She was someone's best friend. She was somebody's mommy. And I cannot forget.
Wow. Wow. That's
Another nurse song.
yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Wow. Writing about death must be very interesting in the actual event.
You know what? Yeah. As I get older, I feel like it's almost a gift to be so comfortable talking about things like death. I feel like as a whole society, we spend a lot of time trying to just escape it or pretend it doesn't happen or pretend it doesn't hurt forever.
Yeah.
I wrote another song just this past Mother's Day, released it on my YouTube page as a video for my mom called 1 Minute More. And that is about that. It's about, the grief that really doesn't go away. I think sometimes if you don't deal with that stuff in its entirety and reality of it, you don't really experience the joys in life. It's kind of like you need to feel the deep darkness in order to see the light. And I really kind of try to play off of those themes. There's a lot of themes of light and darkness in my music.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of other cultures maybe handle the subject much more holistically. It's part of a cycle.
Yeah,
Cycle.
yeah, I think so.
And our guest this time is Nancy Huebner, Huebner. Please make sure you look her up. We're going to see a bunch of her websites in a bit. And her first two songs have just been magnificent, and we're just glad to have her as a guest here.
Oh, thanks.
I think I'm going to contribute a song, and then
good.
we'll talk about some of your websites and stuff, and hear some more of your music later.
Okay, great.
All right. A song I wrote in between April 10th and 11th last year was a song about a healthcare worker working at the beginning of COVID in the very dark days. And I know Nancy's heard this song. I shared it in the PASA house concerts, and it was just a simple song. little shift ends. I shed my tears, shed my clothes, leave my band of brothers and sisters on the front lines to carry the load. I trudge home to my family. I kiss them through the glass of my back porch where I sleep. Oh, I don't know how much more I can last till I hold their hands, hold their hearts. So I smile to let them know they are still loved, they have respect. But soon it's time for work, so I go. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. This is my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I hope I make it home today. We need more tests, we need to trace. My day-old mask won't protect my face. We need ventilators and leaders with heart. What a screwed up human race. Every patient is someone's love, someone's rock, someone's friend. I must be all those things to them if I'm the last one at the end. So I hold their hands, hold their hearts. I smile to let them know they are still loved, they have respect. But if it's time, just let go. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life I can save. This is my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I ain't no hero, but I know there's a life that I can save. It's my calling, so I go. I hope I make it home today. I hope I make it home today.
Oh, what a gorgeous song. I know I heard it once before, but you know, it just speaks to the songwriting craft, right? That as a healthcare worker who experienced some of that, so much of that song rang true for me. And, you know, you're not working where I'm working. I mean, you really, you know, caught something there, and the simplicity, the beautiful, beautiful chords and the singing. Ah.
Thank you.
Ah.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly.
Gorgeous.
Thanks. Yeah, it was that song and a song I wrote about the murder of George Floyd, and a song I recently wrote about one of those topics I mentioned earlier about topics you write about that you're afraid to write about.
Yeah.
Those three songs. When I first played this song I just played, I literally couldn't get through it. And so I think I waited about a week or two. And the first couple times I did it, I was biting my inner cheek.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really hard sometimes. You have to sort of, you feel the emotion coming on and you have to learn how to sort of hold it in check, but it's not easy all the time.
Yeah, and you don't want to deny it because the song, as you know, the song that's delivered with the emotion.
Exactly. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I thank you for the comment about the simplicity, because I shaved down and whittled away a lot of the music and a lot of the lyric to really make it streamlined.
Yeah, it's really sculpted, and it's just beautiful. I mean, I think there's a lot of power in that. I mean, I think we overproduce a lot of things in general. I mean, we meaning society. And I think sometimes when you can just sort of be simply like, here's a beautiful major seventh chord and, here's a 13th diminished, but you're not hearing a lot of other junk with it. It just rings with the gorgeousness of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a neat technical point for the aspiring and young newer songwriters in the audience, and we get quite a few of them listening, is as you delve into more technical aspects of your lyric or of your music, it's good to diminish the delivery of it so that it can sit on its own without the competition.
It's true. Don't you think, Tom, too, sometimes like writing a song, it either feels like you're going on a journey and you're starting from A and you don't know where the end is, but you're going on that journey and it takes you there. But other times songs seem to come to me in a huge block. Like, here it all is. And then you have to work to sculpt it all out and see like what's really underneath and what it really is. Right. I feel like they either come one way or the other for me. So, it is a skill to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is. And how did Lisa Jeanette put it? Vance Gilbert was stressing with her that the editing is the writing, and don't confuse the two. Yeah. Editing's writing, so don't stop editing. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and we'll probably come up with hopefully a couple of other useful things for the aspiring newer and younger songwriters in the audience, and one of them there is just keep crafting and editing and refining. There is always a slightly better version waiting of what you're trying to produce. Yeah.
I tinker with all my songs a lot, so yes, I hear that.
So I also wanted to share that with you, and like many people in society who really understand that the frontline workers are the delivery workers, and the police and fire and EMT and healthcare workers, especially in clinical settings.
And the teachers.
The front line is huge, folks, and a lot of people understand that. And I want to make sure that we openly thank you for being on the front line.
Oh, well, as I guess I'll speak for everyone and say, thank you for thanking us. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you do. You very much do. Hey, we're with Nancy Huebner again. This is Songwriters Live with Tom Cooney. And thanks to Steve Jones and everyone at Rocking the Valley for distribution assistance on this. And don't forget to look it up on Tom Cooney Music on YouTube. Hey, Nancy, we were going to take a transition and take a look at some of your web presence and social media presence. And I've got your Reverb Nation page that I'm going to share here in just one quick second. And there it is. There we go. So again, all Reverb Nation sites start with reverbnation.com. So it's /Nancy Huebner, HUEBNER. And well, there's a great picture of you there.
Yeah, that was actually taken by Sean, and I'm going to say his last name wrong, Capiano. Oh, I'm sure that's wrong. But that's before I started growing my COVID hair. But I had him take some pictures of me at some point when I was performing. I think that was at the Dewey Beach Music Conference a few years ago. And the songs I have on this page, a lot of them are older. I haven't kept up with them as I maybe should have, and will again. But they're an example of kind of the music I do. And
there's great humor in some of Nancy's songs as well. One of them I see here that I've heard a couple times is "The Girl Scouts Are Trying to Kill Me."
Yeah. Yeah. Most of my songs that are funny are actually, for me, angry songs. They start out because I'm angry, and that was definitely an angry song. I was finally made my January 1st, thing that I was going to lose weight and stay healthy. And by February, the Girl Scouts were in the Acme, selling me their cookies. And I was mad. So I actually wrote that song really quickly. And for me, it's an angry song, but I guess it sounds funny to people. So.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about there, Girl Scout cookies. I don't, seriously.
Crazy.
So Reverb Nation and there are actually some good pictures down there.
Yeah, from over the years, right? When I started to play, and the one with the bunch of people, that's a FAWM group. That's one of the groups I was talking about. Of the back in 2012 was right around when I started with that group, and you can see Jessica Gray's in that picture, Todd Chappelle, and McKeever. I mean, I could name everybody because all of them are excellent, excellent musicians. Every single person. Oh, the Honey Badgers are there. Aaron Nathans. Oh my gosh, we were all my buddies. And Shane and Matthew Haley, who's an ornithologist and a genius and also does great music, and Nathan. Oh, everybody's in this picture. So anyway, oh my, okay, I won't. Okay, I'm sorry.
So you said someone else?
That's so funny. Rachel Shane is in there too. I could keep looking and telling you names. Oh, and Alyssa. So there's really, they're wonderful people. And I would love to do a plug for FAWM. FAWM is one of the best things that musicians and songwriters can do. It's every February you sign up to write 14 songs in 28 days. And it's a challenge, but the community is wonderful. This worldwide community of people. So you have people in Amsterdam and Australia and England all listening to your music. It's really a wonderful supportive community. So if you want to check it out, fawm.org, but it doesn't open till like next January. So
that's FAWM as
yes.
Michael.
And then .org, not .com, right. .org.
And it's February Album Writing Month.
Yes.
It stands for, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is neat. The WHYY one we looked at quickly. You also said you have some of your music presence on YouTube, and you keep some of your...
Yes. Yes, on YouTube, I really feel like my songs come across best when I'm kind of performing them. Yeah, I guess because they are a little theatrical. So I'm starting to learn that actually going into YouTube and doing videos of things is probably a way to go for me. So I've only just sort of started doing that. So I have a lot of videos on there that are older songs. But I'm now working on creating videos for some of my newer songs. So yeah, they go way back, those songs that you're looking at right there. Right. And then the one that I just did for my mom is on there. And then I think I have Daughter on there too, which is another place you can hear Daughter and the last line, because WHYY, it got cut off because of the time thing. So that whole song is on there. So it's... on
YouTube, that's Nancy Huebner Music is how you look her up on YouTube. So that's Nancy Huebner Music on Facebook. And so it's also good to hear. I know a lot of the guests that we have on the show are folks who have been doing the craft for years, who are good at it, and who have released songs and materials and EPs and maybe a couple of larger releases. And I know talking to you pre-show, it's also great to hear that you also realize you've got a lot of great stuff, and that you're also going to be considering, compiling EPs and other kinds of releases. So folks, by all means, keep track of Nancy Huebner Music. There's just so much good craft happening here.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate anyone want to encourage me. Sometimes I need a little bit of a kick in the butt. So anyone want to encourage me, I'll take it.
Again, we're with Nancy Huebner. This is Songwriters Live with Tom Cooney. And we just looked at some of Nancy's websites. Make sure you do track her music down. Friend her, support her by all means, and keep an eye on her music projects as they're going to be coalescing. And just it's a very good artist, and very good for you to reach out. Let's get back into some more music. And what were you thinking of sharing with folks for your next song?
Well, I really hadn't planned it totally, but since we were just talking about Girl Scouts, why don't we do it? blushed as I walked out of the Acme. There were 3 of them standing in a row, with their goofy gap-tooth smiles and their prepubescent wiles. I couldn't ever snarl and say no, no. They must have had me pegged from the beginning when they saw what was in my shopping cart. There were tasty cakes and pies, so those little green sash spies knew they had me from the start. The Girl Scouts are trying to kill me. They're trying to do me in. Their cookies are delicious and the girls are so ambitious. There's no way willpower will win. I'm never gonna be thin. Thin. Thin Mints. I'm sure they didn't start out as assassins. I don't think there's a merit badge for that. But still they've learned to kill as they so skillfully fill my arteries with saturated fat. Why would they want to murder all my big dreams of wearing a bikini on the beach? Summer's 4 months away, but I can eat a box a day so that bikini is out of reach. The Girl Scouts are trying to kill me. I'm under a cookie attack. My newest affliction is a glucose addiction. My life's become one unending snack of chocolate-covered peanut butter crack. Give me Samoas, hand me some more, and how can I say no to a do-si-do, a cookie no one sane ignores? What kind of person recoils from a box of trefoils when they don't even have any hydrogenated oils? Wait a minute, what did I just say? They don't have any hydrogenated oils. Well, then they're not that bad for me. The Girl Scouts aren't trying to kill me. How did that thought get in my head? I must have had a sugar rush that turned my brain into mush. They wouldn't kill me. Sales will plummet if I'm dead. The Girl Scouts aren't trying to kill me. Girl Scout law says murder's wrong. I'm really quite annoyed that I'm so paranoid. Now I guess I have to rewrite this song. I mean, who cares what I look like in a thong? Hey, hand me another tag angry song.
That is very, very funny. Very, very, very funny. What started you out in music? I'm guessing because you talked about some of your musical experience in college, you loved it so much that after your nursing degree, you went back and got a voice degree and studied voice, and you can really hear the classical influence.
Yeah, well, I mean, I started playing piano when I was about 7. My grandmother had moved to Florida with my grandfather, and she had a piano, and because I was the only granddaughter, it was deemed that I would get the piano as long as I would take lessons. Good. Unfortunately, my cousins and my brother were just, out of luck. So I started lessons, and then I started singing in a local church choir that we were going to, and I sang my first solo when I was probably 7 or 8. Wow. And then, like in 5th grade, my school did The Wizard of Oz, and I got to be Dorothy. And then in 6th grade, I started playing the upright bass. This is what Lisa, Jeanette, and I have one of the things we have in common is I played upright bass all through actually college the first time. I was never as good as she is, and or as accomplished, but when you're tall, I don't know how she got started on it, because I got started on it in the Philly school districts. They said to me, "You're tall." I wanted to play the flute. And they said, "No, we're going to give you this," because I was a tall kid. Yeah. Anyway, but so I kind of got all through high school, and I thought I would major in music, and then my parents kind of put the kibosh on that. I guess they knew me very well and thought, yeah, that's not what she should do. So that's why I got my bachelor's in nursing, and I studied voice all through that. I had gotten a scholarship in my senior year from Settlement Music School in Philly, which is a wonderful, wonderful place, and so then I kept taking lessons after that. And then after I was a nurse, I really wanted to go back for my music degree. And what I didn't know was that when you have one bachelor's degree, to get a second bachelor's degree, everybody expects you to do it in 2 years. And that was impossible because the the disciplines are really narrow. So almost nothing from my nursing degree moved over to the music degree.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of start all over again. So I did this thing where I was going to school from carrying 18 credits, going from 8 in the morning to 2:30, hopping in my car, driving down Lancaster Avenue, because this was from Temple, driving down Lancaster Avenue to get to my hospital and work the 3 to 11 shift.
Wow.
And then I would get out, do my homework in the auditorium there, don't tell security, and go home and do it all over again the next day. So my last semester at Temple, I dropped the normal courses. I'd already taken all the theory and stuff I really wanted. And I moved over to the jazz side, and I took a songwriting course, and I took some more fun courses that I thought would help me more than 2 semesters of Italian and French and German, which was the opera thing. So I never finished my degree. I'm literally probably about 2 semesters, shy of it. And I was like, yeah. And then I just moved on with my life. So that's kind of it. And I don't even know. I think I wrote my first lyrics when I was in high school. I wrote a lot of poetry. I was really into poetry.
Wonderful.
And then, I started to just write songs, and then I wrote for churches. I had a job for a church for a bunch of years, which was a lot of fun to actually write music for them and perform it. Wow. They were on the cutting edge, that church. So I've had that opportunity. So it's just sort of evolved as I've evolved. So
And in terms of singer-songwriter, when did you start crafting and performing that kind of stuff?
I think I just started to put it together. I think when I took the pop songwriting course at Temple, I sort of went, oh, I can do this. This is weird. I can play and sing at the same time, and it's not hard for me. Yeah. And so I think I just started to come, around with that. And then I started to realize that this is a good way to process life. Yeah. I process everything that happens to me through songs, just about, whether I write them or not. And so, it just sort of took off from there, and now I've just been doing it for a really long time.
Yeah, wonderful. Hey, this is Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. We're with Nancy Huebner, Huebner, and you can find our Nancy Huebner music is the most common name where you'll find her on Reverb Nation and SoundCloud and on Facebook, and it's great to have her as our guest. We're going to do a couple more songs. I'm going to contribute one more, and then I'm going to have Nancy contribute another song at the end. And it is wonderful to have her as our guest. This is the song I have been doing a lot recently for some reason, and I don't know why. It's something I wrote, I crafted initially in November of 2018 and finished in June of 2020. And when it was done, and I performed it a little bit, then I was done with it. And now the song is asking to be played, so I've been playing it. So one of those things. It's called Do What I Can. When somebody's heart is broken and they need a helping hand, when somebody's cold and hungry, will I see and understand? When some people are kept down by hate and their blood spills in the street, will I confront my town, my country? Will I fight for what they need? Will I do what I can to make it better? Do what I can, be it big or small. Do what I can, alone or together. Do what I can, heed the call. Do what I can. Ooh, do what I can. Might be just in my small town, or
halfway round the globe might be helping just one person, or helping this world save its soul. Will I do what I can to make it better? Do what I can, be it big or small. Do what I can, alone or together. Do what I can, heed the call. Will I do what I can to make it better? Do what I can, do what I can, be it big or small. Do what I can, do what I can, alone or together. Do what I can, do what I can, heed the call. Do what I can. Do what I can. Do what I can.
Ah, I love that song.
Thank
It's
you.
wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love, boy, the fade at the end was like, woof, that was excellent. And I was singing along with the little do what I can parts. But I love songs that have like a social consciousness and conscientiousness to them, and yet don't whack you in the head with it. So I love that because it really kind of makes you think and feel without like telling you how you have to think and feel. So I love that.
Thank you very much. I like that song. It also, I write a lot of different styles of music, and
Yeah.
for me, that hits the folk jazz vein.
Yeah. I love those jazzy chords, and that feel is great.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah.
been fascinated with folk jazz artists like Joni Mitchell and
Yeah.
other folks who don't see a lot of hard boundaries between the genres, and
Right.
it is too much. Hey, we're getting close to wrapping things up here on Songwriters Alive, Cooney. We want to again thank Steve Jones and everyone at Rocking the Valley for additional distribution here. Make sure you check out Steve and everything that's going on with all the different shows at Rocking the Valley. Check out, of course, Nancy Huebner Music, and all the sites we looked at earlier. Check out my page, Tom Cooney Music. This show lives on in the Songwriters Alive playlist on Tom Cooney YouTube, along with the other wonderful episodes and great songwriters that we've had here. Before we move on to your last tune, can you talk about your performance schedule or virtual stuff, or different songwriting open mics or house concerts you've been doing? How have you been kind of handling the performance end of things?
So to be honest, once the pandemic hit, the nurse side of me kicked in. And besides writing Daughter, and I think I've written probably about 5 or 6 other songs, kind of sprung throughout the year, which is not as many. I usually write more than that. I was just really busy. Like that's the reality. So now kind of getting back into it again. It kind of feels like you're getting back up on the bike, trying to get back into it again. I do have there's a private party coming up of people who wrote music for FAUM that are going to be performing some of their songs. So that's kind of one of my ways to kind of get back into being in front of people again. Right. And then hopefully I will pick up again and things will open again. There's some places I'm excited to check out. There's a new place in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, the Living Room that Laura Mann is opening that I can't wait to check out. There's some other interesting things my friends are doing that I want to go hear. So I think, as things open up, I'll have a better idea of what we can do. It still feels kind of foreign.
Our guest has been, and she's going to go into her finer song, Nancy Huebner. Please make sure you reach out, connect with her on those pages that we looked at. Support her music, say hello to her. She's, as you can tell, very friendly person, great artist. And Nancy, before you take folks out, is there anything else you needed to mention that we neglected to talk about? Or?
Yeah, actually, if you want to do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube page, because apparently if you get a certain amount of subscribers, you can do more stuff. And since I'm hoping to do that in the future with more videos, you know, it'd be great to have, I have 38 people and I love all 38 of those people, but I'm thinking if I could get it to 50, that would feel like I was something.
Well, you heard it, folks. Nancy Huebner Music on
YouTube.
There you go.
And that's that.
And what were you thinking of sharing with folks as for the last song?
So for my last song, you know, when you do things like this, you should always do things you're very practiced at. And I've been a little rusty because I haven't been performing. But I'm going to do something brave. This is a brand new song. I don't think anyone's heard it. No one's heard it. And it kind of goes along the theme of getting back in the bicycle seat. I wrote this. This song was actually inspired in February by Julie Gold, who's a friend of mine on Facebook. I don't know if you all know her. She's a great, amazing and talented and well awarded, songwriter. She wrote From a Distance. Right? Yeah. So she's like amazing. And anyway, I'm somehow connected to her from our past, which is a long story I won't go into. But she put a picture on her Facebook page of a really cool bicycle with one of those old air pumps next to it. And she wrote something about how she's putting air back in her tires. She's going to go riding. And I thought, oh, there's a song. So this was actually written, inspired by that page, by that picture. And this is called Ride. And yeah, it's brand new, so let's hope it goes the way I think it's going to go. I'm putting air in my bicycle tires, and I don't care how much each tire requires. Don't have a gauge, so I'm just gonna guess. I wanna ride to where I haven't been without a guide. I'll take a dream for a spin. I'll pop the lock and pedal right out of this mess. No chains will hold me as I'm shifting out of here. My life is breaking, but I'll get it in gear and ride. I'm gonna ride, I'll ride. I'm gonna ride. Wind in my hair, free of all care, going somewhere I can't hide. I want to ride. You know, my frame isn't what it used to be. Too many shocks have knocked some life out of me. I've lost my bearings more than once or twice. Crawling through life, taking the traveled path, not knowing fear has its own aftermath. Procrastinating, joy has a real price. Back in this saddle, I'm done cranking out lies. My soul has spoken, it's time to mobilize and ride. I'm gonna ride, I'll ride. I'm gonna ride, opening my mind to the peace I can find if I leave behind all that's died and finally ride. Like the kid I once was, I'll feel the thrill of flying down a hill, not worrying what's round the bend, not worrying what's at the end of the ride, the ride, the ride. Though my legs are weak and I'm feeling antique, a bit meek and quite petrified, I need to steer away from fear, 'cause my time is here to ride. I've got new air in my tires.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
Wonderful. And that's brand new.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Played with such confidence.
Oh, well, I don't tell anybody. I have words in front of me
Oh, no, that's fine.
because I don't have it memorized. I don't have it memorized yet. So that gives me a lot of confidence when I have words in front of me.
Oh, I have my words on my tablet and my music too. At my age, since I hide my own Easter eggs now, I need every technological help I can. I noticed you were smiling a lot to yourself while you were playing that.
Well, there's a lot of puns and inner things in that song. So when I write a song, I get bored easily. So I put all sorts of things in there. So it mentions, popping the lock, and it mentions no chains holding me, and braking, and shocks, and bearings, and flying down the hill. But then, my soul has spoken. That cracks me up because it's like a bicycle spoke, and cranking out. Like I used all the parts of the bike as I could figure it out.
Very creative, very wonderful.
So, well, it keeps me, sort of interested in it, because otherwise I might find it kind of boring. I don't know. But as I was writing it, I'm like, let me make this more fun for me and put in all these terms, see if I can fit in like a lot of bike terms. So
it's also great craft. It makes the song come alive. And your joy in playing it showed too, which is one of the things we always enjoy about the guests on this show, is that you can tell that they love what they do and they love sharing what they do.
Yeah, I do. I really do love doing this. So
that is wonderful. It shows, and thank you for being our special guest this time, folks. That's Nancy Huebner. Make sure you look her up, please. Nancy Huebner Music. And thank you so much for being our guest, and best of luck in all your musical endeavors.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. It's been such an honor and a privilege to be here. I'm so happy to talk with you in this realm. This is wonderful.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you. Hey, folks, we'll see you next time on Songwriters Alive with Tom Cooney. Look it up, please, in the meantime, on Rocking the Valley YouTube and Tom Cooney Music YouTube. Everyone, be safe, be well, be kind.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated, be kind, and be positive. See ya.
Thanks.